I'm going to show you guys a simple outline and fill to get you started on decorating cookies. I have my cooled cookies. They did not cool on this baking sheet. I cooled them on a cooling rack and then I put them back on the baking sheet for decorating. And you can see I have them propped up. I think it's much easier to work standing and where the cookies are more level with you rather than sitting on at a table and trying to do them. I have my royal icing in a disposable piping bag with a plain number 2 tip. I normally use only plain tips, number 2, number 3, and then number 1 for fine detailing. Those are really the only ones you need to start. And then before I get going, I just test my icing on a paper towel over to the side just to make sure there's not an air bubble in there. And go to your cookie and just start outlining. Start and then hold your piping bag above your cookie and just move your hands, squeezing the bag, and that icing will just fall into place. When you get to the end, right before you get to where you stop, stop squeezing. And that should take care of the little point that you sometimes get on the outline of a cookie. If it's there, don't worry about it. Everybody's just gonna see pretty cookie and they're not gonna notice that little point. One other tip for piping is when you're filling your icing bag with the piping consistency royal icing, fill it about 1/2 to 2/3 full. If it gets too full, it's really hard on your hand and your hand will start hurting after you've done a few cookies. So just keep it about 2/3 full. And just one other thing to keep in mind that I feel like I always should say is that I taught myself how to do this, and so I'm probably not doing it exactly the way you're supposed to do it. So I'm just showing you my way. I'm just about finished with my last cookie. After I finish this outlining, I like to let them sit for about 30 minutes to let that outline harden up, and that's a great time to start watering down my icing for flooding and let it sit so all the air bubbles can come to the top and I can stir them out. We'll see you guys in about 30 minutes. All right, I have my royal icing thinned now and my outlines have been sitting for about 30 minutes. So I'm just going to use my squeeze bottle, and you can get these at craft stores in the candy making section or in the craft section of Walmart. I really think they're a lot easier than using the disposable bags for the flooding. Okay, here we go. Just fill in the outline, and you just want to go back and forth and up and down. You're not trying to cover the entire cookie right now. I like to work about 3 or 4 at a time, and as I'm working on the other cookies, that flood icing on the first few will start spreading out. So just do this over and over again. All right, I filled in 3 cookies. Now you can see that it hasn't spread all the way across the cookie. That's good. That means the icing is not too thin. If it spreads all the way across the cookie for you, you'll probably want to go back and add a little bit of sifted powdered sugar to your flood icing, stir it, and let it sit for a little bit again. So just use your toothpick, this is a cookie decorator's best friend, to spread the icing into the corners, into any blank spaces you may have. You're going to use this toothpick again in a minute, or a different toothpick. So I'll show you how. The cookies are flooded and I spread out the icing with a toothpick. Now I'm going to go through and poke any large air bubbles that I see with the tip of my toothpick. If they're small little air bubbles, I tend not to worry about them too much. But if you've got a big one, go ahead and just pop it. I hope that helps you guys with just the basics of outlining and filling. That's all you need to get started. I can't wait to see what you create. Thanks for watching. Bye.